Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, you can able to see me and hear me clearly, correct?
Yeah, correct, sir.
Yeah. Hi, Praveen. Good afternoon. You're on the mute. You're on mute. I think Praveen, you're in mute.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah,
No
it's
problem.
very happy to see you after a long time, Jay sir.
Thank you so much, and the same here, same to me as well. So again, group of young minds, I can going to interact for next 60 minutes. That's again,
Yes.
it's blessing for me in my lifetime. Definitely, it's a great opportunity
Nice.
for me. And again, thanks, Praveen sir, and Pon, right? Yeah, Pon Manivan. Yeah.
Ponmanian and Karthi is there online. I think
Okay.
Ponmanian is not there, but Karthi sir is there online.
Okay, thanks, Karthik sir, as well. So yeah, thank you, and probably
Thank you, sir.
yeah, we can get started, and we can also have much interaction in this session with all our friends. Then definitely it will be a great learning experience for me as well. Wanted to gain some kind of knowledges from you as well, each and every one. So I can share my experience based on my industry, almost 2 decades, close to. So probably I can share my experience. Then I can also give you some kind of career advancement in your professional life. Then probably that definitely help you whenever you remember my session, whenever you are into any core service organization or the domain company. Definitely it helps you to go ahead further in your learning, and you can implement thorough exercise based on your job role. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very nice. And one more thing, I want everyone to interact with Jay sir, okay? Because his knowledge and his area of exposure is a lot. I know him very personally, so his exposure is in a lot of industries actually. Starting from pharma industry, CRO industry, IT industry, okay? So his knowledge is vast, so you can interact. I wanted an interaction session here, okay? Yeah. Yeah, we can start, I think, Karthi sir. Yeah.
Sir, 2 seconds.
No problem.
Yes, sir. Sir, start பண்ணலாம் sir.
Yeah, thank you, Karthik. And probably you can share your screen, then you have the PPT with you, correct?
1 second, sir. Some formalities are there. So wait.
Yeah.
Jay sir, there'll be a small introduction and a few prayer songs and other things, okay?
Absolutely, that's
Then we
fine.
can start. Sorry for the delay. Yeah, 2 minutes.
No problem.
Pleasant afternoon, everyone gathered here. Now, I call upon Vinoda and Lavanya to sing the prayer song.
ஓங்காரநாதம் நீயே, உண்மை பொருளும் நீயே, உந்தன் அருள் ஜோதியே எங்கும் ஒளி வீசவே இந்த புவியோர்க்கு அருள் செய்வாயே. ஹே ராம் என்றாலும் நீயே, ஏசு என்றாலும் நீயே, எங்கள் அல்லாஹ் நீயே, உலகில் எல்லாம் நீயே, எங்கள் உள்ளத்து தெய்வம் நீயே. ஓங்காரநாதம் நீயே, உண்மை பொருளும் நீயே, உந்தன் அருள் ஜோதியே எங்கும் ஒளி வீசவே இந்த புவியோர்க்கு அருள் செய்வாயே. அறியாமை இருள் நீக்கியே, அகங்கார வெறி போக்கியே, தூய அன்புதனை உள்ள பண்புதனை எம்மில் நிலை தோங்க செய்திடுவாய். ஓங்காரநாதம் நீயே, உண்மை பொருளும் நீயே, உந்தன் அருள் ஜோதியே எங்கும் ஒளி வீசவே இந்த புவியோர்க்கு அருள் செய்வாயே. இந்த புவியோர்க்கு அருள் செய்வாயே. இந்த புவியோர்க்கு அருள் செய்வாயே.
People either want to be host to receive welcome or want to be guest to receive welcome. A warm welcome and good afternoon at all of you. I am extremely overwhelmed to get this opportunity to address the gathering. It's my honor to welcome all the dignitaries and invitees who have gathered here. It's our honor to welcome our respected Chairman Sir, Correspondent Ma'am, Admin Sir, Dean Ma'am, Principal Sir, and Dr. R. Praveen Kumar Sir, the Head of Pharmaceutical Technology Department, and Dr. G. Srinivasan Sir, the Head of Chemical Engineering Department, and Professor R. Balasubramani Sir, Head in charge of Food Technology. We welcome you, sirs. It's our pleasure to welcome our chief guest, Mr. J. Ganeshan Tyagarajan Sir, Manager of Essential Life Science Complaints Office. We welcome you, sir. I would like to welcome all our faculty members, students, and all the invitees. We welcome you all. Thank you all for coming and joining us here today. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Now, I call upon Bhumika, third year Pharmaceutical Technology, to welcome our chief guest.
Good afternoon, all. I wholeheartedly welcome our chief guest, Mr. J. Ganeshan Tyagarajan, Manager of Essential Life Science Complaints Office. He had completed his MSc Biochemistry and MBA at Bharatidasan University, Tiruchirappalli. He have been working in the field of comprehensive quality assurance program for clinical, data management, biostatistics, and pharmacovigilance operations. He was accredited as lead auditor of QMS for domestic and international clinical research organization. He has been tributed as a successful vendor towards many medicinal agencies in Japan and South Korea. He has served as a quality lead for verifying compliance to regulations for a biopharmaceutical and medical device organization. He has published correlation between calculated LDL with hypertriglyceridemia and hypotriglyceridemia in a reputed journal. On behalf of Department of Pharmaceutical Technology, I warmly welcome our chief guest for this wonderful session. We welcome you, sir.
Thank you so much. Yes,
Thank you,
great.
sister. Now, let us begin our webinar. It's over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much, and it's oral introduction, and again it's wholehearted thanks to you as well, the entire team. Yeah, especially Praveen sir. Right, so before I begin with the journey of this digital transformation in pharma, right? I'm proudly say I'm the pharma person and I'm the life sciences consultant. I'm bringing some lights to the individuals, definitely, which is really needed in this time, right? So either are directly or indirectly, right? So each and everyone, and you as the guy, and again, I'm also included in your group of member, right? So as you are student and you're very blessed to be part of the life sciences industry, and again I'm telling you, you are one among the superstar in your upcoming career age, right? So that is how you can think. You definitely help your end user life. Always the pharmaceutical engineering end user life is kind to the patients, or the uh, wellness of individual, or improvised lifestyle of individual, right? So either of these three, either of this one, right? So you have to be quote unquote, whenever you are doing any action, you are directly or indirectly helping anyone's life improved from the current state to the next state, right? Improving the patient's health, improving in the current state to next state is the wellness, right? So all this. So I'm Jay Ganeshan. As I said, I'm part of the industry for last 20 years, part of various laboratory and clinical trial research audit organization, then into pharma company, and consultant for 21 number of pharma companies around the globe, and supported various regulatory inspection as well, contributed for research set of activity, which definitely benefit to a patient population, right? So that is how my career journey. Predominantly, if you ask me, uh, you are a researcher, then into implementer for researching activity for any of the pharma company, then into you are into compliance, verifying the activity, whatever we have done, and reporting back to the regulators or the inspectors, right? So we have to prove whatever we have done, it's right, right? So that is how we can consider me as on the whole, the entire value chain of pharma, right? So as I hear from most of our organizer, this particular population belongs to pharmaceutical engineering, B pharmacy, and pharma a specific group of aspirants. I'm right? Anyone can answer yes, yes or no. Simple. I can consider these as a yes or
Yes, sir.
yeah. Thanks, ma'am. Yeah. So the thing is, how many of you know about the pharma value chain and how it will impact everyone's life, right? How it's impact the pharma organization as well. Anybody having any thought? You can free flow. You can share your thoughts. Probably I can tell you what is all about and how it's dealing in the digital era nowadays. Even the previous the legacy ways of working, you can also share, but anyone having any experience on those front, at least theoretical knowledge. I'm not expecting anything practical, but theoretically, you know anything about pharma value chain?
Sir,
Yeah, okay. So
all the participants should be attending, sir. So in the session, ask the question, sir.
is it okay? Fine then, no problem, ma'am. So if you consider the pharma value chain right from the target identification and getting the substances or the medicinal product to the end user, right? It takes 15 years, That and all happened in the last 5-10 years before. The same scenario is not the case nowadays, right? So all this happened based on this digital era, and again um, uh, digital uh, technologies would help to the sponsor and scientist organization, scientist community to fasten their research, and then they can able to come up with the recommendation, better recommendation. It's not just about kind of placebo kind of thing. It's all about the exact target. It's not at all easy in the legacy ways of working. You have to be do it everything in the wet lab. You have to prove, and you have to identify the genome sequence, protein structure, everything. You have to share it across, and then it goes to the uh, um, um, regulatory authority board, new drug NDA kind of, right, new drug application. So all this, it's takes longer duration earlier, right? It's not the case. That is what the digital transformation come into picture, right? A lot of digital tools, even the line item, whatever I have, make it right, discovery and so on, so right. So all this, if you look at digital technology in discovery of pharma value chain, if you Google it, and you can find out lot many tools available. Lot many scientific community utilize this tool and come up with their basic information to come up with their targeted targets, right? Targeted molecules, I can say, yeah. So protein or anything, right? So that is how it's operates, right? So even I can say the classic example, and you guys very well known about the Oxford University and AstraZeneca pharmaceutical company join hands and come up with the vaccine quicker to the world for humans welfare, right? So all this, it's all happened based on this digital, right? So nowadays each and everyone is wearing smartwatches, correct? So the smartwatch carries readings your blood pressure, heart rate, and if you are dehydrated, and the smartwatch asks you to take some amount of water, right? So that is how it's all going. And if you are considering digital, smartwatches considered as a medical device, it's not the case. But it's why I'm telling all this, right? So digital era come into the regular routine life nowadays, right? So each and everyone utilizing the benefit of digital age, and how we can leverage those information for our research, and further improving our human lives, right? So that is most important. For that reason, all this popped up these days, and it's rightly utilized by the scientific community. And nowadays each and everyone is doing their best at their level, and we got a lot of saved turnaround time tag, and based on that we identify the early identification of molecules that's target and protein structures, right? So that is how that's happening inside the discovery phase, right? So I think probably you can unmute if anybody having any thoughts on the discovery, then probably they can get clarified, because that is most important. You must know each and every line item thoroughly, then only you can easily map your thoughts in the subsequent value chain of pharma, right? So organizer, could you please unmute people's participants. Okay, then probably if any question, then I can able to answer. If not, I can go ahead with the next one.
If you have any question, you can type also, or you can ask also. Okay, you can type in the chat box.
Yes, correct. Yeah, that is also fine. I think pharmaceutical engineering students, technology things, and probably you may have greater opportunity with a lot of services organizations. IT company, it's not only for the IT jobs nowadays. It's for the life sciences thing. And if you are a SME in this field, you know the pharmaceutical subject very well. You will be the first preference for any life sciences service provider organization. Will be deployed into top 10 pharma companies, any one of the top 10 pharma companies as a consultant, life sciences SME kind of. So that is how your journey would get started. If you get these are, I'm just throwing my thoughts. Only I'm touching on touch base on this digital transformation in pharma. That's the hot cake at this point of time, and it's most important skill set. If you guys get to know about it, then definitely it would help you for your career and future um, career design and pathways as well. So yeah, so that is the reason. And if you have any anything you can share, even discovery, you know better than me on something discovery means, then probably you can share. We all get benefited out of it, definitely. Anyone can, or you can type it. Even you can search it for Google, and you can see it, and you can ask for any kind of clarification on the discovery phase itself. Okay, fine. Let me take this as a positive way, and you guys definitely, I'm sure you guys definitely browse through discovery in pharma value chain, digital transformation, how it's impact the digital transformation, during the discovery phase of pharma value chain. You guys definitely browse based on your available time, and you can gain more information on the discovery. Probably this presentation would help you to how it's traveled from discovery to the next phase as development and product, right? So based on the discovery, as I said, right? So a lot of tools available inside the market as well. You yourself also can create, if you have enough knowledge on the discovery thing, and how we can help the scientific community in such a way to give a shorter and quicker results to the scientific community, right? So you can also create some kind of databases with regards to the protein structure, genome sequences, and again a lot of other imaging applications, right? So those kind of things you can also create you as an entrepreneur, right? So these are things available. Browse thoroughly, and you may get a lot many insight in this, and you may get a lot of interesting information from the discovery phase of pharma value chain, right? So once discovery is done, and assume that we have identified protein target or the molecule we have identified for a particular therapeutic area for the particular impacted diseases. So impact sequences are diseases, right? So you have developed and product, right? During this development, right? Before developing, and you have lot many exercises you have to run through the preclinical exercise. All this you have to do, and you need to get some kind of approval from the regulators, and every NDA has to be uptime. Then only you can start with your product, right? So that's going to be with human trial, right? The clinical trial, actual trial, it's going to start, right? So post NDA approval, right? So the development product, it's a key thing, and again, very less number of GLP laboratories can perform the rare diseases thing, and the two emerging um, diseases like different kind of viruses spread across, right? So nowadays it's again monkeypox came into picture, right? So they need to identify the sequences. They need to develop against this particular DNA sequences, right? So all this they need to do. Um, for that also, in legacy area, thing, and I can say before 10 years, right? So all this would happen inside the lab environment. It takes a lot of effort, human effort, and time. Um, then we may end up with some identification of the against target, right? So that again happen inside the development product, but we may not pretty much sure about the end product, whether it's really support for our support to object this um, uh, end product or not, right? So all this can be doable, doing inside the um, uh, digital tools, I can say. So you may be the digital tools and all. It's work basically based on the biostatistics. I think pretty much know about biostatistics, right? So whenever you do any researches and you have to do your biostatistics, whether the research is going to be fruitful or not, that you can be identify, right? So all this predictive analysis and kind of analytics tools brought in inside the research and development, the development and product, right? So during this development phase, and again ended with the final product, right? So that again you have to submit it with the regulators. That's going to be one sponsor organization IP, right? So intellectual property, right? So that is how you have to do it, but it's all happening quicker turnaround time, right? It's not as early. It's again give quicker results to the scientific community again, and again it's benefit to the sponsor organization, because its sponsor organization spends millions and millions of money into dollar into this particular area. If you look at discovery, development and procedure and protect IP, right? And research and development. This is the major chunk of any sponsor organization. The sponsor is global biopharma industry, medical device industry. They spend a whole lot of their gains, right, invested back to these areas, these three areas predominantly. Then only they are become a topper in the industry, right? They wanted to be blockbuster always. They wanted to be come up with the rare diseases medicine to lead the show, right? So all this, right? So then research and development. So after IP, you got approval from your region specific regulators. Like if you are doing something inside in US, and you have to get the onboarding certificate from FDA, like if you are doing something in Europe and EMA, European Medical Agency, right? So likewise TGA for Australia and DCGI and CDSCO for India. So kind of, so a lot of regulators is there with respect to this geographic and location specific, right? So you must encompasses statutory and regulatory requirement, all these phases. And that's most important. That's one of the reason I have chosen as compliance as my profession, right? So since I'm into the life sciences based biochemistry, so I'm thoroughly get involved in those kind of areas and get some kind of basic compliance check. And because there is no complaint, there is no business for any pharma companies, right? So you have to be more compliant with each and every stages of your pharma value chain, right? So the research and development, right? So end of this research and development, and they finalize the single target. Okay, so this is our viable um, product for this particular rare diseases. Okay, we can go ahead with this thing, and we can go ahead further with clinical trial research. Then probably um, the endpoint results we can it will matches to our biostatistics reports, kind of. So that is how they decided and go ahead with the particular molecule for the drug research and development. So a lot of other, I think your course covers research and development, what kind of clinical trial, phase 1, phase 2, kind of phase 3 and phase 4, kind of vaccine until phase 3 until phase 3, medical devices phase 1 and phase 2 alone. Yeah, that is how. So for some kind of pharmacovigilance and post-marketing surveillance set of activities happen for cut across biopharma medical industry, right? So yeah, I think capital formation and partnership again. That is what I'm telling. Earlier, the bigger pharma companies and all, Wait, Wait is now part of Pfizer, and very recently AstraZeneca tied up with Alexion for the rare diseases. So they get amalgamated. The merger and acquisition happened with the global pharma company. Again, Novartis is the biggest M&A company. They are doing a lot of merger and acquisition with small pharma companies. They absorb their research spend, and they continue with the same research in the band of Novartis, kind of. So that is how it's kind of. So capital formation and describing this, developing this partnerships, and all its parts and parcel of the commercialization of any pharma companies, because they wanted to be in the top, right? So if you look at oncology, and AstraZeneca is the leading player, and if you see the diabetology and diabetic mellitus specific drugs, and Novo Nordisk is the key. And again, if you look at um, uh, rare diseases, and Pfizer is the king, right? So that is how each and every pharma company, they are having some. If you take Sanofi and all, it's vaccine. Though AstraZeneca produced COVID-19 vaccine, but even still, Sanofi is the king of vaccines. If you name it any vaccine, it comes under Sanofi predominantly, and secondly from J&J, right? So kind of. So nutraceuticals, if you consider nutraceuticals, is Abbott is having, right, Pediasure, Ensure, kind of, all this they are doing. And medical devices, Abbott Vascular is there, and even now it's Abbott Vascular is part of Abbott pharmaceutical company, right? So a lot of opportunities there, but a lot of digital technologies is there. That is what you guys need to understand. So each and every phases of pharma value chain, a lot of digital tools available, a lot of startups doing the digital transformation journey and the specific function of the pharma value chain, right? So that is how nowadays industries is going on, and you guys are having greater opportunity in near future, You can also search through from Google, and you can find out so many tools is there for each and everything. That is what that's the reason I'm reiterating again and again for your benefit. So um, that's again very interesting to know each and every year tools functionalities, how it supports the pharma value chain, how it's interact with the previous and the next step of pharma value chain. So that is most important, right? So that is how it's operates, right? Clinical development. So they decided once everything is done, right? So they decided with the clinical development. The clinical development phase, right? I think you can make it as a presentation mode. Yeah, right. So clinical development, they decided it. Okay, so what population we wanted to test this particular molecule. It's for they decided scientific community and the sponsor organization decided, okay, so this particular molecule benefit for the entire globe. It's not only, it's only for the local. So they decide all this permutation and combination, and they also verify the biostatistics report. If we run it for the entire globe, it's how it should be, and how it can be doable only for APAC region. So then how it would be, right? So all this permutation combination, all this they develop, and they have all this data. Based on the data, they created this clinical development program, and the demand as well, right? So demand, I can say it's not exact demand. It's
1 minute.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. You can put it in presentation mode. I think it's not in presentation mode.
Sir, put in the presentation mode, sir. Laptop presentation mode la irukku.
Okay. I don't know, but I'm not able. Okay, continue.
Initially it was presentation, and later it converted to
yeah, now it is not in presentation mode actually.
Yeah, I will check it, sir. 1 second, sir. I will check it.
No problem. You can do it parallelly. I can go ahead with my content. You can do it. No issues.
Yes, please. Sorry.
Yeah. So all this scientific group, right? So they do this clinical development reports. That is the reason analytics company. I think a lot of analytic organization is the Latent View. It's one of the analytics company. I think I don't want to name the company, but for your benefit, I'm telling. So a lot of analytics company, they are doing this kind of data analysis activity. They are only doing the data analysis activity. They are only supporting the outcome of data analytics to the pharma company. They are getting the databases from various other scientific research, university and forum. They got all this, right? So that is how it's operate. So if you look at clinical development, a lot of clinical development digital assets, a digital tool from the startup to the pioneer in industry like TCS, they are also doing all these tools. So that definitely helps the scientific community as well the sponsor organization for quicker results, right? So the next is regulatory review and approval. This is the mandatory and key aspects of the pharma value chain. Whatever you have done, right? Even you have done the NDA and all, everything is done in the previous stage of during development, protect IP, right? By the time you are all done. But even then, the regulatory review and approval is the key success for your entire value chain. If you are getting approval from the regulators, be it with FDA or MHRA or TGR, CDSCO or DGI, DCGI, right? So all this. So you have to be very clear on whether this particular molecule supports for any specific diseases, for improving health condition of individual. Then we must identify whether we wanted to go ahead with global trial or local trial, right? So that is how they decided it, and based on that the submission would happen. right? So the submission, if you are taking medical devices and they do for the 510K submission for using this particular devices for the particular region kind of. So in medical for pharma side, they need to get clearance from this regulatory board, and they can do all this kind of uh, post research activity. So implementing this trial, all this will happen post this regulatory review and approval, right? So once this has been established by the sponsor organization through the third party clinical trial research company, they got all the data sets, then submit back to the regulators. They got clearance, then they will go for the approvals. They right. So once they got the regulatory review and approval, they can claim it as the blockbuster drug. If you are identifying a new targets for particular diseases, improving patients' life or individuals' wellness, then it should be inside, because you are the person who identifies first this particular molecule, right? That is the reason the IP, protect IP is key for any base research, right? So all this, right, once you have completed, and you will be identified as a blockbuster drug, right? For the next 10 years, you have to produce the drug without anyone's thing, and you are the person you are the monopoly, I can say. Yeah, for the next 10 years, you yourself gain, because you invested a lot from your discovery, develop product, and protect IP and research and development, right? So all this return of investment happen only if you are identifying blockbuster drug. That is the reason all the pharma companies these days, merger and acquisition is happening. And again, they are also leading the show to identify the rare diseases molecule to get develop product and protect IP. It's happening very thoroughly. Even if you go ahead and look at clinicaltrial.gov, right? If you go ahead and clinicaltrial.gov, right? If you look at it, and you came to know who are all the sponsor organization submitting IPs for specific diseases. So all this there. So where the particular trial status, it's in the discovery, or it's in the development, or it's in the early clinical stage or late clinical stage, and it's in the regulatory approval state or things. So that is the reason all pharma companies are rushing to get the pattern as quicker as possible, right? So in a way, analytical tools would help to give correct direction to the sponsor organization to go ahead and file the nomination with the regulatory review and approval, right? To get and foster the blockbuster under their name, right? So once identified things, manufacturing supply chain. If you are looking at manufacturing supply chain, AstraZeneca and Oxford University come up with the novel corona vaccine trials, right? So they given some set of manufacturing supply chain to Serum Laboratory of India, right? So likewise, around the globe, AstraZeneca chosen few other CMOs and CROs, right? Contract manufacturing organization as well. So that is how Serum Labs produced the COVID vaccine for entire globe, and Serum is one of the manufacturer of Covishield, right? So that is how it operates, manufacturing supply chain. If you look at manufacturing supply chain, SAP is the tool, and so many ERPs, enterprise resource planning tool, right? So many cloud technologies. so many databases, Oracle databases. All this is supports for the manufacturing supply chain, because if you are manufacturing, it has to be supplied to the end customer. That is how the manufacturing supply chain would success. Otherwise, you may not succeeded. You have identified target and you have named as your blockbuster drug, but you are not very much strong in manufacturing and supply chain. You will be failing to market, and the next person little tweak on your genome sequence and they can do, and they can get the pattern, and they can have very good manufacturing supply chain mechanism, means then their medication it goes to the end customer quicker than you, right? So each and every case is most important. This is again commercial side, but again you have to be more cautious and more concentrate on the manufacturing supply chain, right? And you guys probably can see how the COVID vaccine, Covaxin, Covishield, transported from UK to other part of European economic area countries, right? So that is how we must plan. A lot of analytical tools, a lot of ERP application support for the manufacturing supply chain with zero defect rate. That is most important. The compliance, quality and compliance play a key role for the manufacturing supply chain to ensure the right medication reaches to each and every individual. That is how the post-marketing services, the clinical trial for phase 4, right? Pharmacovigilance, safety databases, review, all this would happen post manufacturing supply chain, right? So again, communication and marketing, all this is commercialization. This commercialization also it's based on uh, the drug effect, right? Effectiveness. So whenever you are doing any drug, it has to be patient safety, product quality, and data integrity. So patient safety is, if I am taking any medication, I should not be having any untoward medical occurrence, right? Safety reporting should not be happen, right? So that is how we must ensure that the safety of individual, patient safety, product quality, manufacturing and supply chain, they need to ensure. If you look at any medications, right, you have the barcode earlier and all, the labeling and all is there. But nowadays, if you look at barcode things or the QR codes, if you scan it and you get all the essential information about the product, when it was started, when it was manufactured, and which lot belongs to this. All this you can scan through and look at it from your um, hand devices itself, right? So that is how the manufacturing and marketing things. A lot of tools supports even label art. Some of the career path is label art, manufacturing label art. That's one of the division inside any pharma company. So they need to give the entire information, because they are most important to look at by any regulators. Any safety event has happened, it has to be reported back to the QR code. And again, this particular lot I have taken, I am getting some kind of severe headache, vomit, nausea kind of feeling. So I'm getting some kind of adverse event based on this drug. All this, by the time they scan this QR code or the barcode, they get to know all this. Right? So the most important thing is pharmacovigilance, the phase 4 trial, and the post-marketing surveillance. That's the key, right? So the growth and expansion. Why this is exactly not fall under pharma value chain, but why I have included here is any pharma company, they are doing for improving human lives, along with they wanted to be a leader in the industry, right? So growth and expansion. So that is the reason merger and acquisition, all this happen. And again, rare diseases. If you even the small companies, if you are doing, and even I can say the classic example. So many insulins is there, right? So Biocon come up with the oral insulin. That's an innovative decision from the Biocon chief, and again they come up with some kind of oral insulin tablets, kind of, right? So that is how you have to be innovative innovative in your mind and sustainable in your thinking. Then only you can expect your growth and expansion in the pharma industry. Since you are pharmaceutical engineering students, I thought of sharing this the best practices and a lot of tools available to support to understand best which each and every topics. I'm just throwing my very basic. You can consider that this only 5% of information. You have version of information in the World Wide Web, and you can easily go through, and I can able to easily reach out through my LinkedIn or my emails, or through from your college, Mr. Praveen Kumar Ramchandra. So kind of, so you can utilize, probably you can, go ahead with the next. I'm sorry if I'm taking too much time in this case. Yeah, go ahead with the next slide. Yes. So why I have explained bit detail in this pharma value chain, right? So further I'll narrow down. I said, right, the sustainability thinking innovation would help the better solution for each and every pharma value chain, right? The digital transformation. So if you look at the first dice, right, research and development. So explorative research may not be happen at the research lab. It can be happen in the computer itself. It can be doable using the analytical tools, right? Cloud and the AML, artificial intelligence and machine learning. Nowadays, it's metaverse like application is utilized for the digital transformation. So likewise, the data is real time, right? A lot of sponsor organization, they develop some of the app, they given with the app. That app is installed in your iPhone or Android mobile. They can take the readings of your trial needs, all this from your gadgets. They verify, no need to visit the hospital or the hospital tied up laboratories for any examination, no need to settle at the hospital for the trial sake. All this can be monitored through this digital gadgets like real world data, right? So the turnaround time is exactly minimized in this case, right? So the manufacturing and supply chain, why I'm brought after research, manufacturing and supply chain, right? Industry 4.0 blockchain. So if you look at whatever I have make it here, right? Industry 4.0, if you Google it, Industry 4.0, it stores a lot of information. What is all about Industry 4.0, how manufacturing adopted Industry 4.0 as a best practices, how the pharma organization take observing this Industry 4.0, and blockchain, how it helps. Blockchain is a truly technology tool, right? The IoT is the Internet of Things, right? So how it's helped blockchain, how it's reduce the turnaround time, how it's make the meaningful product outcome with zero defect, right? So the cross-border transactions, right? So all this, lot of data privacy regulations is onboarded into European Economic Area like GDPR, right? General data protection regulations like data privacy is key for anyone's matter, right? So data privacy. Again, if you are doing clinical trial, if you are conducting global trial, and you may have opportunity to have kind of data transfer from one Europe country to another Europe country, you have to follow some certain rules and regulations, right? So you have to concentrate on these things and how it can be managed, materialized through technology, right? So the technological advancement purely helps to overcome all these problems, right? So the third dice is digital commercial and enablers, real world data. Again, maybe it's similar in nature, but it's all gives benefit. Exactly, digital commercial enablers, digital technology solutions supports the quick turnaround to reach the patient, right? So Even the end of the objective is quicker turnaround time and improved lifestyle of individual or the improved patient's life. So that's the thing. And again, real world evidences definitely help for greater contribution to scientific community, right? So that is how the wearables, Apple Watch or any smartwatches supports kind of real world evidences with the data, right? So digital health, personalized medicine, and yeah, even doctors, right? They can prescribe based on your behavioral things. You may be a sedentary lifestyle person. You may be tend to do some kind of physical set of activity and kind of personalized medicine. It's not same for everyone. If you are having pain, then take paracetamol. It's not the case. The personalized medicine, it's a key for everyone's business nowadays. It has to go in such a way. Then technology helps to identify the personalized medicine, how it supports to an individual, right? The connected care. So decentralized trial, one another item, you can search it from your site. Decentralized trial or digital clinical trial, anything either of this one you can find out. Connected care is the core for this decentralized trial or the digital clinical trial. So how the connected care supports the digital clinical trial era. So how it's helps to identify a right patient population for a particular protocol. So all this would help during your personalized medicine and connected care during your digital health transformation, right? So that's the reason earlier pharma companies, pharma organizations spent a whole lot of effort in the research and development. Nowadays, they can also equally, I cannot say equally, less than the research and development. They can also keen on the digital transformation. That's the winning bottleneck for them. Otherwise, they will be in the they will be losing the race, right? So they wanted to be become pioneer. They wanted to be the blockbuster. They wanted to be a number one. So all this happened, right? So digital health is the key for sponsor organization success. That is the reason a lot of effort by pharma organization nowadays for taking services company help to adopt the digital transformation journey. That is how we are also doing so many customers, so many pharma companies. And I'm acting as a compliance lead to ensure each and every digital transformation. It's really necessary for them to accomplish their targets, right? So last but not the least, the quality and compliance. I said right, no compliance, no business. No quality, there is no business at all in the world, right? So you have to be very thorough, keen on the statutory and regulatory needs always. Even if you are a pharmaceutical engineering student and aspiring digital company, and you should learn certain tools as part of this compliance. You should also get some kind of certification. Then you should be in your compliance thing. So compliance, I can say, product safety, patient safety, product quality, and data integrity, right? So all this, it's applicable for the GXP application. Why GXP? GXP is good X practices, good clinical practice, good laboratory practice, good manufacturing practice, kind of, right? So these are kind as GXP practices. X denotes to clinical, laboratory, and manufacturing, right? So all the 360-degree compliance is most important. Whatever application used for these areas that consider as a GXP application, you have to be validate the application. So verification is there. Verification is whatever you are doing, it's correct or wrong. right? That is thing. And validation is the intended purpose is met or not. You maybe develop some IT application to support for the clinical practices or the manufacturing practices or the laboratory proceedings, the LIMS, laboratory information management system kind of. So you may be intended with business objective, right? So whether the intended business objective is met or not, it's a validation. That's a GXP. That's a vast topic. You can search it, GXP application used inside in pharma industry. So even each and every life cycle value chain, right? So you can discovery GXP application in pharma industry like that. If you look at so many applications there, right? Likewise, GXP application, that's a validation topic. That's a huge topic. If any chance opportunity is there in future, I can take the GXP validation kind of thing. Let me see. Yeah. So the relevant skill, that is the reason I'm here. At least I wanted to spread the awareness to you guys. Even I wanted to gain knowledge from you guys as well. So relevant skill is most important, right? Whatever you learn from your college days and your research, all your surfing from internet, all this, right? Everything is you gain knowledges, but you have to be um, market ready, I can say. Right? You are going to be in a job role, right? You have to be demonstrate skill. It's kind of behavioral skill, and again technical skill, and again your subject matter expertise. Technical in the sense of technology, you should be at least 1% ahead from the regular college regular pharmaceutical engineering people. You should know these are the technology, digital technologies utilized by various other pharma companies in the world. So I have little known about it. You have any opportunity, have discussion with client organization on your interview for the life sciences company, and you can say proudly say, I know this kind of tool is there, and I'm not experienced, but I know this kind of tool. The relevant skill, that's most important for running your career edge, right? So so far I have shared my best possible experience what I had. It's I'm only throwing my 5% of information. Probably in the upcoming or future sessions would help. If you guys really interested in this topic, then probably you can reach out to your SAR, then we can discuss further in this case. Yeah. So a lot of opportunities there. That is what I'm telling. Don't only looking at the core companies. Nowadays, IT companies also supporting the pharma customers. Only thing, you have to choose the life sciences project, and you have to be map your experience, learnings, and skills goes to these directions, right? So I was part of IT organization last 12 years, and prior to that I was in the core companies. Yeah, so kind of audit and the core lab, clinical trial research, and quasi IT organization, kind of data management. So kind of. Right. So that is the reason, if you look at, I have completed my MSc, then into research, and completed my master's in business administration as well. So you have to be known all this technical subject, and then into behavior, and you also do certification based on your interest. The cloud technology, again, all this. Yeah, go ahead with the next. Probably I can quickly wrap up. Next slide, please. So this is, I'm not sure how many of you know about this ISP, International Society for Pharmaceutical Engineering. You have guest access, you have student access without any single paisa invested from your pocket. You can gain so much of information from this link. So a lot of you may be experienced in the biotechnology, somebody having experience or interest towards with medical devices, somebody having interest in the vaccine side, somebody in the APIs, generic drugs, somebody in the research, new novel drugs and rare diseases. So all these learnings, all these free workshops, always available for anyone who are interested in. You yourself create your own login with your username as your Gmail or email IDs, anyone, and you can gain so much of information, lot of information, lot of SMEs giving session on each and every day. There is a learning calendar is there, and a lot of learning opportunities there inside ISP. I'm proud participant as well as a member of ISPE for last 10 years. So a lot of interesting stuff. Even I say I haven't touched upon the cloud side. Cloud is always giving benefit to any organization. The sponsor, pharma, biotech, and again IT services and IT product company. Cloud is always helps to come up with sustainable software development exercises. Sustainable means here is simple. I can say if you are taking your vehicle for any shopping, and you have to be plan all your shopping list, right? You have to decide your route. So which shop I have to go first, how I can reach my home within this time, right? So how I can be able to save my fuel. So likewise, sustainable software is how the cloud, one single solution, support for various other pharma value chain applications, how it's interact. The cloud has to be flexible enough to interact and interface, right? So that is how the cloud technologies. I think move on with the next. I'm done. Probably, yeah. The most important is, so begin with the end in mind. Everything in your hand, right? So you are studying and you are doing all your best, and you are supporting your family, and you are supporting your parents to be proud, and supporting your family and your relatives proud. All you are based on your actions. So you have to begin with end in mind. I should be in some position in this year. You have to be in think always in your mind, and it's not an advice. It's again one of the 7 habit from Stephen R. Covey. Begin with end in mind. It's second best behavior from Stephen Covey's 7 habits of highly effective people. So I'm proud to be part of being yourself, and again compassion. You have to be lend hand to your friends and whoever needs. That is the reason I'm really happy to interact with you guys. You are a pharmaceutical engineering people, and either way you are going to support anyone's life betterment in future, right? So you have to be self-realistic, be mindful and pragmatic. Don't overthink all this. All this you can doable. You can do it based on your vicinity. Yeah. So later you can expand your horizon and you can do it. Try it. That is how. So I'm such a person. These all statement shared by my fellow team as well, my 360-degree team. I must establish my leadership always with compassion and be mindful. I don't want to be theoretical, bookish, and very much documented. It's not the kind of, it's be realistic and be mindful. You have to be live with the life, right? So you have to be quicker in your decision. So all this. So So thank you so much, and you can also reach me through LinkedIn. It's top in my slide in the right corner. Anyone can reach out for any help. I can able to support. Yeah. Thank you so much. Any questions? Now floor is open for you guys for next 15 minutes time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights on pharma value chain in digital era. Dear participants, if you have any queries, you can post it in chat box.
Yeah, first of all, the hesitation has to be thrown out. At least the 30th of May 2022, right? So far, you guys having any hesitation for interacting with anyone? Don't consider me as a external. You can consider me as a friend, and you can ask me for anything. That is how you can come out from the cell. Hesitation doesn't give any value. Yeah.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, I myself Kishore, sir. I am currently pursuing final year pharmaceutical technology.
So I'm sorry, sir. Could you please speak
Myself Kishore, sir.
slowly? Yeah, could you please speak slowly, and a lot of echo is there. That is the reason.
So myself Kishore, sir. Final year pharmaceutical.
Okay. Yeah. Your name? I'm sorry.
What are the opportunities for freshers in clinical trial, and how can we enter this company, sir? Clinical trial companies.
I'm sorry. Could you please type the question? What are the?
Yes, I'll type, sir.
Okay. What are the recent development in the pharma industry? Right. Yeah, it's a good question, and thanks for asking. And you are the first person to break out the shell. Yes. Fine. So yeah. So as I said, right, the clinical trial .gov. Let me also give a type. Let me also share the link.
Sir, shall I read the question?
No problem. Let me give the link to the person who asked for the question, right? So this particular link definitely give you the best. 1 minute. Let me paste it in this. Yes. So the current development in pharma industry, right? So most of the pharma companies nowadays is, as I said from my presentation, right? The rare diseases and personalized medication and medical condition, right? So all this trying out. If you go ahead and click on this, right? So a lot of ongoing studies. What reason they are doing these studies? The abstract you can see. So which pharma company has doing this kind of activity? Is any other pharma doing the same kind of activity? All this can be viewable from this particular thing. That is how I think I may answer your question. And rare diseases and personalized medicine based on the real world evidences. That's the reason. The recent development in pharma in clinical trial. right? Yeah. So did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah, welcome. So the next one is what are the opportunities for freshers to enter in clinical trial companies? Okay, no issues, very easy. There is one again. I can share one another link. I can tell, but why I'm telling all this link and all, you can rightly target, right? ICH E6, good clinical practice, right? So there is no need of since you are doing the pharmaceutical engineering already, no need of doing one another clinical trial courses to give kind of things. Instead, you can do ICH E6. ICH. This is 46-page document. Definitely, you guys can easily go through. 1 minute. Let me give an answer. Yeah, now it's 69 pages, E6. So, if you are asking me, you wanted to be introduce yourself into clinical trial companies, and you should go through this ICH GCP E6 guideline thoroughly. You can also visualize, or you can also get some help from your seniors or your staff, Praveen sir. Get how it can be help getting into E6 and how I can easily get onboarded myself into clinical trial research organization. No need to go ahead one another course for CRE, CR courses and all. It's not really needed, and you can gain knowledge from this guideline E6 ICH. So then you can easily get onboarded. Probably a lot of CROs is there, and you can search it from your Google, and CROs in India, CROs in Tamil Nadu, CROs in Bangalore, kind of lot of CROs is there based on the ratings, and there is a site is there, right? Glassdoor site. A lot of CROs is there. I don't want to name it, but Glassdoor is the fantastic tool to see how the organization should be, right? So like that, you can gain basic information. Probably you can also reach out to me for any further help. I can able to help. No issues for getting on board, but only the thing is, if you wanted to get onboarded yourself into clinical trial research organization, the first and foremost is ICH GCP E6. You must be thorough on this 69-page document. That is what. The third question is, dear partner, kindly post. Okay. Okay. How to advertise the new drug in market? Okay. There is no need of advertisement. So whenever any new drug is identified and IP is done for a particular sponsor organization, that's the need of the particular patient population, right? So for that reason only, they spend whole lot of money to come up with the solution as a product, right? So there is no need of advertising the kind of things. Commercialization, it's appropriate. How we can commercialize? Even though we know the data population, based on the data population, these many subjects really needed, or these many patients really needed this drug, and world is anticipate this much number of cases will huge in next 10 years time or 5 years down the line. So you may be do it all this. So you have to be commercialized in such a way to reach the material or the drug substances to an end customer as quicker as they wanted by the time, with cheap, or I cannot say cheap, lesser in price, right? So there is no advertisement in new drug in market. Only the scientific fight is there with each and every sponsor organization with scientific community, right? So it's kind of who's going to produce first blockbuster for these rare diseases. I maybe identify some cancer thing, and there is no medications for the cancer particular things, but Lilly also, Eli Lilly, yeah, it's one of the pharma company. They are also producing things, and again, Novartis is also producing target against that, and AstraZeneca is also going to produce the target against it, and J&J also is going to produce a target against that. And who is going to win? Whoever is completed their product development and research and IP submitted to the regulators, they are the things. So that is how they are doing. There is no advertisement here, right? Yeah. So do we want to pursue any computer course in order to place in IT company? Never. No. Nothing sort of. You must be basic understanding on computers, and you must be very thorough on your pharmaceutical engineering. And as I said, right, so why I'm completed my IT in business administration, some level of entry point, because by the time when I entered in my age of IT, it's completely different. But nowadays is the environment is totally changed. So many bioengineering students from Shastra placed into various biopharmaceutical company direct payroll, and some of them into IT services company like Cognizant, Wipro, Accenture, Infosys kind of. So likewise, you're also pharmaceutical engineering guy, right? And you must be known about, I think these days you are younger than we all, right? So you know better than us for the computer handling all this. So you can do it whatever you feel comfortable, and there are a lot of AML courses, certificate courses, and LinkedIn learning is there. A lot of LinkedIn learning is there, and you can go ahead and do it by your own, and make it yourself visible. LinkedIn is one of the best tool to publicize your skills and competencies in the outer world than with your basic pharmaceutical engineering, right? So it's addition. Always you have to be very presentable. That is what I'm telling. You must be market ready with professional skill set, with technical, behavioral, and managerial, right? So read managerial things and read technical things. I don't think which is really demand to be part of IT company as technology courses would get on board and right. It's not the case. Yeah. So what are the ways to transfer the drug? What are the ways to transfer the drugs in market? I do not understand, but what are the ways to transfer the drugs in market? So you're selling, yeah, assume that I'm taking such a way. Assume that once blockbuster is done and commercialization is happening, commercialization is happening. As part of commercialization, sales and marketing is there always, right? That is the reason sales rep and all visiting. And I think probably in my age and previously, I can able to see the pharma reps taking the samples with the bigger bag and visiting the doctor and explaining the product and giving the sample, and the sample would get prescribed to the patients, those who are visiting the consultant. So visiting the doctor, I can say consultant. Yeah. So that is how it was done earlier. Nowadays, as part of digital, as I said, right, the tab is there, and the marketing SMA is providing the tab to the doctor, fix an appointment, and doctor logged in, like what I'm doing, right? I'm getting slot 3 to 4 and I'm doing the session, right? So likewise, they get the slot from the doctor. They can discuss in detail about the product. What are the benefits? What are the hierarchical things from the competitor? All this would happen through digital things. The tab itself provide enough knowledge and enough information. The tab contains all the data analytics informations. What I said, right? So AML, machine learning, and metaverse kind of things. All this there inside the tab itself to get the right solution to the doctor's question, right? So these are the tools, techniques, and supported by various other pharma company IT organization. So inside pharma, there is IT organization, right? So they do all the commercialization kind of things, sales and marketing kind of thing. And again, the sales and marketing, you should not give a bribe to sell my medications. That has to be vigiled by the lot of other agencies there. Say for example, let me type down rights.
Thank you, sir.
1 minute.
Thank
1
you,
minute.
sir.
1 minute. Let me put a pin. So this kind of thing. And is any other fresher to enter? How do people risk and benefit as a trial? So benefits of possible risk and benefit of trial compare all the standards based on the protocol. And again, the IRB is there, institutional review board kind of. So all this they will do. I think, yeah, I'm done with the, do we want to pursue any computer course? No, that is what I answered. I think I have answered. If any other question is there left unattended, I'm sorry.
No, sir. No other question, sir.
Okay, thanks so much. Yeah, that is what I said. I would like to speak with young aspirants always, interact with young minds. So thanks all your question, and wish you good luck.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your valuable words, sir. Now, I call upon Vijay Kumar, second year Pharmaceutical Technology, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. It's an honor to be a part of this wonderful event. First of all, we are grateful to our Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. Jayaganesan Tyagarajan. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and for being here with us today. Your ideas about pharma value chain in digital era have truly inspired us. I'd like to express our gratitude to our principal, Dr. M. Premkumar sir, for his presence today. I extend my sincere thanks to our beloved head of the department, Dr. R. Praveen Kumar sir, for his guidance and moral support. And a special thanks to Dr. G. Srinivasan sir and Professor R. Balasubramani sir for their valuable presence and guidance. I also extend my warm gratitude to our event coordinators, both faculties and students. A wide range of applause and thanks to all the participants who made the event a memorable one. Once again, I thank each and every one of you for being here, making this session fabulous. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Feedback link is posted in chat box. Kindly fill and give us your valuable feedback.
Thank you very much, Jay sir. That was an excellent presentation, really.
Thank you so much, Praveen.
And
Getting
you were
more
as always, sharing your thoughts and sharing things to people around. That's great.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for now, and see you again. Bye for now. Yeah.
Feedback link is closed for 1 hour. Thank you, sir. Once again, thank you all for your presence today.